Hello, my name is Gabrielle and I am the founder of Cacao Wisdom. And today I would like to talk to you about cacao and the difference between cacao and chocolate. So many people think it is the exact same thing, and it is not. Cacao is actually a plant medicine. And one of the big differences between cacao and chocolate is the way that the beans are processed. So cacao is very, very lightly processed, where chocolate is heavily processed. So much so that a Hershey's bar that you buy in the grocery store has basically no cacao in it whatsoever anymore. It's a bunch of chemicals, milks, sugars, preservatives, things that you don't want to be putting into your body, where cacao is very, very lightly processed. And what I mean by that is when the beans are picked, they are then fermented. And the Cacao Wisdom cacao is actually raw. So after it's fermented, then they're dried, and from there they are ground. And so it has so many more health benefits and properties in them. But another tradition of preparing the cacao is to lightly roast them over the fire. And I mean lightly, so that way a lot of the natural components of the beans are still in them, so you still get the health benefits. Where what you know as chocolate is mass produced. The trees have herbicides, pesticides, other chemicals used on them. The beans are harvested in an unnatural way, and then they're put into these huge machines, ovens that bake them into oblivion. So much of the nutrients is gone. And then when they're actually put into the chocolate, it's only one millionth of the amount that you would get in actual cacao. Don't quote me on that amount, but you get the idea. And so that's a huge difference, is the process. In Cacao Wisdom, also a big part of the process is for the trees to be blessed, for there to be ceremony around the growing and the harvesting of the beans. This adds in a lot of sacredness, a lot of energy from the people of Bali. This is huge in their culture. So it's natural for the Balinese to be giving all this beautiful, nourishing energy into Mama Cacao, into the trees. And that can really be felt when you have the cacao. It's the energetic part of the beans. And this is a huge difference as well. Obviously, chocolate is extremely commercialized. There's no intention, there's no prayers. Cacao is hand harvested, either raw or lightly roasted, depending on where you get it from. All the intentions are put into the cacao. It's very different. Another aspect that's very different between cacao and chocolate is the type of tree, the varietal of cacao tree. So there are three main types, but there's actually thousands of types because they all cross-pollinate and intermix with each other. There is the criollo, there's the trinitario, and the forastero. And these are three different varieties or varietals of the cacao tree. The criollo is the sacred one, the original one. That is the one that the Mayans used in Central America for their ceremonies and rituals. And forestario is a variety of the tree that growers found that actually lives longer and doesn't die as easily and is able to grow in more locations. And then the hybrid between the two is trinitario. And trinitario is a type of trees here in Bali. All three varieties have theobromine in it. All three varieties can be considered sacred. However, the criollo one is the one that the Mayans used. So that's a difference between the varieties of the trees. Another big difference between cacao and chocolate is the history and the tradition. So like I've said, that the original cacao, the original tree producing these beans, was used in a medicinal way. It was used very intentionally. And the sacredness of those practices is preserved when you drink cacao. Because when you drink cacao, it is part of a ritual, as part of an intentional setting of your energy, setting of your day, connecting to your emotions. Where when you eat chocolate, it is not ceremonial, it's not intentional. In fact, all respect for the plant medicine has been lost and has fallen away. So when people eat chocolate, they're actually completely unaware that they are eating a plant medicine, and there's just huge disconnect between the plant and the Hershey's bar that you get. There's so much process in between So many things added, so many chemicals. It's a completely different item by the time that you open it and eat it, which is why you don't get all the benefits you get when you drink cacao or eat cacao. So it's really important to be mindful of all of the history and the depth and the tradition and the sacredness around cacao, and be very mindful of the fact that the Mayan people have preserved this wisdom for us for the last couple thousand years, and have now shared it with us so we understand how valuable this plant is. I think it's by no accident that cacao is emerging now when people are the most disconnected from themselves and nature. In fact, there's a legend from the Mayans that says this, and I fully believe and embody that. And so that's one of the major differences between cacao and chocolate as well, is the tradition and the history and the intention and the sacredness around growing, preparing, and processing the cacao versus the chocolate. If you have any other questions about the difference between cacao and chocolate, or how to prepare a cacao ceremony, how to drink your cacao in ritual, definitely check out our Instagram at cacao.wisdom, or see the blog post or some of the other offerings on this website, because I am here to help facilitate your connection with yourself, with your internal wisdom, with your feelings, your emotions, your body, your healing journey in general, your expansion journey. So I'm here for you for that, and there are a lot of resources here. So let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I hope you love your Cacao Wisdom cacao, and I will see you soon.